NHL Re-Entry Draft, Simulation Number 4. We start off the fourth simulation of the NHL Re-Entry Draft at the 2024 Prospect Draft. Prospects selected in the 2024 draft are from a pool of players, and there are 2 rounds. The draft order is determined by the standings from the previous season. Montreal Canadiens draft Aaron Kiriharu 2nd overall and Vinny Borghese 13th overall. Vancouver Canucks draft Macklin Salabrini 3rd overall, Ludwig Jensen 16th overall, Otto Salin 19th overall, and Arseny Koromislav 33rd overall. Detroit Red Wings draft Patrick Saloki 8th overall and Nicholas Moldenhauer 27th overall. Columbus Blue Jackets draft Otto Stary 11th overall and Jeremiah Slavin 25th overall. San Jose Sharks draft Tyler Duke 14th overall, Alexandre Kasamaki 21st overall, Tucker Robertson 42nd overall, and Philip Maniscalchi 46th overall. St. Louis Blues draft Joshua Niedermeyer 15th overall, Santeri Solku 26th overall, and Bowden Singleton 43rd overall. Anaheim Ducks draft Philip Nordberg 24th overall, Tyler Brennan 47th overall, and Matthew Seminoff 55th overall. Carolina Hurricanes draft Colton Smith 39th overall and Thomas Gronlund 48th overall. Chicago Blackhawks draft Topias Leninen 22nd overall, Nicholas Koko 60th overall, and Jake Levanovich 62nd overall. In the 2024 Prospect Draft, the Edmonton Oilers draft Cole Eiserman, LA Kings draft Brooklyn Caton, Minnesota Wild draft Adam Jerko, Colorado Avalanche draft Christian Humphries, Tampa Bay Lightning draft Jacob Chromiak, Carolina Hurricanes draft Zervac Petrovsky, Toronto Maple Leafs draft Patrick Gabriel, Pittsburgh Penguins draft Hale Adelius, New York Rangers draft Max Nemesnikov, Ottawa Senators draft Oscar Pentazari, Arizona Coyotes draft David Hayduk, Philadelphia Flyers draft Alexander Perevelov, Vegas Golden Knights draft Homer Gibson, Calgary Flames draft Eric Olhans-Lind, New Jersey Devils draft William Lagerquist, Winnipeg Jets draft Yanni Nyman, and the Florida Panthers draft Alexander Gimler. Round 2, Seattle Kraken draft Peter Hauser, LA Kings draft Theo Keelan, Minnesota Wild draft Tyler Brennan, Colorado Avalanche draft Marcus Lemperlance, Tampa Bay Lightning draft Hunter Heights, Vegas Golden Knights draft Samuel Eklund, Toronto Maple Leafs draft Rager Lawrence, Pittsburgh Penguins draft Dmitry Bolchnikov, Washington Capitals draft Jeremy Langlos, Nashville Predators draft Boston Buckberger, Ottawa Senators draft Jacob Govin, Dallas Stars draft Rasmus Rundslett, Arizona Coyotes draft Daniil Zhirikov, Boston Bruins draft Kevin Korchinski, Philadelphia Flyers draft Sandis Velminis, Buffalo Sabres draft Dominic Raimond, New York Islanders draft Luke Woodworth, St. Louis Blues draft Cole Spicer, Florida Panthers draft Matthew Poitras, Vegas Golden Knights draft Matthew Ward, Calgary Flames draft Oskari Vorio, and the Winnipeg Jets draft Luca Del Bellius. Retirements: Marc-Andre Fleury, Ryan Getzlav, Alex Radulov, Eric Stahl, Jeff Carter, Joe Pavelski, Mark Stahl, Corey Perry, Milan Lucic, Eric Johnson, James Neal, Anton Strawman, Marco Scandella, Leo Komarov. In the offseason, many trades are made. Arizona Coyotes trade Max Domi and Filip Hronek to the LA Kings for Neil Pionk. Winnipeg Jets trade Jack Roslovic, Brandon Montour, and a second-round pick in 2026 to the Arizona Coyotes for Brandon Saad and Neil Pionk. If the Jets make the playoffs, the second-round pick becomes a first-round pick. Buffalo Sabres acquire Cal Foote from the Columbus Blue Jackets for Jacob Perreault. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Eric Carlson to the St. Louis Blues for Noah Dobson and Cody Glass. Chicago Blackhawks trade Matt Duchene and Mike Hartman to the Winnipeg Jets for Mikael Backlund, Nick Ritchie, and a first-round pick in 2025. Then the Chicago Blackhawks trade Mikael Backlund to the New York Islanders for Tristan Broz and a second-round pick in 2026. Chicago Blackhawks also trade Peter Mrazek, Ryan Chesley, and a second-round pick in 2026 to the Nashville Predators for Thatcher Demko. Colorado Avalanche trade Anthony Mantha and Jet Wu to the Vancouver Canucks for Jesse Puljujärvi and Scott Morrow. Vancouver Canucks trade Anthony Mantha and Denis Gurianov to the Winnipeg Jets for Evgeny Dadonov and Alexander Kovanov. Florida Panthers trade Sergei Bobrovsky and Evander Kane to the Colorado Avalanche for Tuukka Rask and Alex Iafallo. If the Avalanche make it to the conference finals, Florida gets a first-round pick in 2025. Colorado Avalanche trade Sergei Bobrovsky to the Vancouver Canucks for Matt Murray, Alexander Kovanov, and a second-round pick in 2026. LA Kings acquire Thomas Tatar and Patrick Hornquist from the Toronto Maple Leafs for Ty Forrester, Mason Appleton, and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Then the LA Kings trade Thomas Tatar, Jared McCann, and a 2nd round pick in 2025 to the Winnipeg Jets for Carter Verhaeghe and Mike Hoffman. LA Kings also trade Mike Hoffman and Mike Riley to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Jake Virtanen and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Edmonton Oilers trade Braden Shen to the LA Kings for Carter Verhaeghe and Artem Martino. Then the Edmonton Oilers trade Carter Verhaeghe, Vladislav Gavrikov, and Luke Glendening to the San Jose Sharks for Jan Mysek, Alex Sandin Palika, and Noah Gregor. Minnesota Wild trade Jonathan Drouin and Alex Goligoski to the Vancouver Canucks for Nick Leddy. Then the Minnesota Wild trade Nick Leddy, Yaroslav Koski, and a 2nd round pick in 2026 to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Kaapo Kakko. If Minnesota makes the playoffs, the Blue Jackets get a 1st round pick in 2026. New Jersey Devils trade Anders Lee, Connor Murphy, Ross Colton, and a 2nd round pick in 2026 to the Nashville Predators for Andrei Svechnikov and Tyson Jost. New Jersey Devils trade Gustav Nyquist, Pius Suter, and Kalen Addison to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Brock Nelson and Alvaro Wallstrom. New York Rangers trade Charlie Coyle and Valeri Nichushkin to the Minnesota Wild for Andrew Kopp and Kailer Yamamoto. Then the New York Rangers trade Kalle Yarncroc and Michael Bunting to the Vancouver Canucks for Michael Rasmussen. The Seattle Kraken also trade Taylor Hall and Oli Mata to the New York Rangers for TJ Miller and Hampus Lindholm. Seattle Kraken acquire Carey Price from the St. Louis Blues for Ben Bishop, Juuso Valimaki, and a 1st round pick in 2025. Vegas Golden Knights acquire Nikita Kucherov from the Montreal Canadiens for Elias Lindholm, Ryan Suzuki, Andre Molnar, and a 1st round pick in 2025. Montreal Canadiens trade Elias Lindholm and Alex Galchenyuk to the Florida Panthers for a 1st round pick in 2026. Arizona Coyotes also trade Jason Demers and Zach Kassian to the Colorado Avalanche for Danton Heinen and Mark Borowiecki. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Paul Stastny to the LA Kings for Jake Virtanen and Nick Jensen. LA Kings trade Paul Stastny to the Detroit Red Wings for a 4th round pick in 2025 and a 6th round pick in 2026. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Gustav Nyquist and Jake Virtanen to the Ottawa Senators for Craig Smith and a 3rd round pick in 2026. New York Islanders trade Luke Cunnin and Kevin Shattenkirk to the Toronto Maple Leafs for PK Subban and Ryder Korczak. Pittsburgh Penguins trade Esa Lindell to the Detroit Red Wings for Kevin Fiala and Anton Olsen. San Jose Sharks trade Jonas Donskoy, Andrew Peeke, and a 2nd round pick in 2026 to the Montreal Canadiens for Xavier Bourgault, Dominic Bach, and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Toronto Maple Leafs trade Pius Suter, Zach Sanford, and a 1st round pick in 2026 to the New Jersey Devils for Christian Dvorak. Tampa Bay Lightning acquire Kyle Palmieri from the Vegas Golden Knights for James Reimer, a 2nd round pick in 2025, and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Vegas Golden Knights trade Robbie Fabry and Joel Edmundson to the LA Kings for Sonny Milano and Mikey Anderson. LA Kings trade Robbie Fabry and Jared Anderson Dolan to the Boston Bruins for Brett Howden and a 2nd round pick in 2025. Some other trades are made. Boston Bruins trade Jeff Petrie to the San Jose Sharks for Ryan Strome and Logan Mailloux. Florida Panthers acquire Jack Campbell from the Carolina Hurricanes for a 2nd round pick in 2027. LA Kings trade Philip Hedl and Brett Connolly to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Dylan Duke. Montreal Canadiens trade Linus Ullmark and Rudolph Balkers to the Seattle Kraken for Anton Khudobin, Tony DeAngelo, and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Seattle Kraken trade Linus Ullmark to the San Jose Sharks for Yaroslav Halak and a 3rd round pick in 2025. Montreal Canadiens acquire James Reimer from the Vegas Golden Knights for a 4th round pick in 2025. New Jersey Devils trade Kevin Labanc to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Lassie Thompson. New York Islanders acquire Isaac Ludestrom from the Pittsburgh Penguins for Nick Robertson. Pittsburgh Penguins trade Warren Foegele and Evan Rodriguez as well as Brendan Smith to the Boston Bruins for Trent Frederick, Victor Mete, and Sean Corelli. Pittsburgh Penguins trade Troy Stecher to the Vegas Golden Knights for Anders Bork. The Penguins then trade Anders Bork and a 3rd round pick in 2025 to the Montreal Canadiens for Andrew Peeke. Ottawa Senators acquire Evander Kane from the Colorado Avalanche for Shane Pinto. Toronto Maple Leafs trade Vitek Vanecek and Juha Kara to the St. Louis Blues for Mason Appleton and a 3rd round pick in 2025. Anaheim Ducks trade Rasmus Asplund and Jacob Larson to the Seattle Kraken for Robert Haig and a 4th round pick in 2025. Carolina Hurricanes trade Morgan Geekie and Noah Juleson to the Seattle Kraken for Tanner Kero and a 5th round pick in 2025. Edmonton Oilers trade Carson Soucy to the Nashville Predators for Cale Clegg. Ottawa Senators trade Ilya Mikheyev and Jake Virtanen to the Florida Panthers for Daniel Sprong and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Tampa Bay Lightning trade Ethan Bear to the LA Kings for Elias Anderson and a 3rd round pick in 2025. Tampa Bay Lightning acquire Barclay Goodrow from the Seattle Kraken for Elias Anderson and a 3rd round pick in 2026. Toronto Maple Leafs also trade Sam Steele to the Vegas Golden Knights for a 3rd round pick in 2025. Vancouver Canucks trade Marcus Pettersson and Andreas Athanasiou to the Detroit Red Wings for Ryan Murray and a 6th round pick in 2026. The Vancouver Canucks trade Ryan Murray to the Florida Panthers for John Merrill and a 5th round pick in 2025. A few more minor trades are made. Anaheim Ducks trade Radim Simek to the Chicago Blackhawks for a 7th round pick in 2025. Boston Bruins acquire Anton Khudobin from the Montreal Canadiens for a 7th round pick in 2026. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Vladislav Namestnikov to the Detroit Red Wings for a 6th round pick in 2025. Florida Panthers trade Shane Gostisbehere to the Philadelphia Flyers for a 5th round pick in 2025. Minnesota Wild trade Travis Dermott to the Winnipeg Jets for a 5th round pick in 2025. Montreal Canadiens trade Brett Kulak to the Philadelphia Flyers for a 7th round pick in 2025. Nashville Predators trade Ian Cole to the New Jersey Devils for a 7th round pick in 2025. New Jersey Devils trade Antti Ranta to the Carolina Hurricanes for a 7th round pick in 2025. San Jose Sharks trade Alex Galchenyuk to the Montreal Canadiens for a 6th round pick in 2025. And the Washington Capitals trade Brandon Tanev to the St. Louis Blues for a 4th round pick in 2025. The changes in the offseason have a huge impact on the next simulation. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Buffalo Sabres, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the New Jersey Devils, followed by the Philadelphia Flyers and Pittsburgh Penguins. The Columbus Blue Jackets hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, while the Florida Panthers hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Boston Bruins, Carolina Hurricanes, Washington Capitals, Detroit Red Wings, Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Rangers, New York Islanders, and Ottawa Senators. In first place in the Central Division are the Arizona Coyotes, followed by the Nashville Predators and Winnipeg Jets. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Calgary Flames, followed by the Anaheim Ducks and Edmonton Oilers. The Chicago Blackhawks hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, while the San Jose Sharks hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights, Vancouver Canucks, LA Kings, Seattle Kraken, St. Louis Blues, Minnesota Wild, and Colorado Avalanche. Buffalo Sabres beat the Calgary Flames in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. In the next simulation, there will be a prospect draft and some major trades will be made as well.